So I'm like, yo, what is going on with me? Like, why am I eating all of this food all at once in one sitting for no apparent reason? How's it going, powerful people? It's the Holistic Motivator. My mission in life is to inspire you to take a holistic approach to your life. In this video, I'm going to talk about binge eating disorders, overeating, and holiday shenanigans. Once again, my name is Edouard Gilles. Thank you for tuning in to this video. Well, let's begin. I remember I moved back home and I was like, oh my God, I'm back home. You know how it feels like when I'm a bird, went away from the nest, I'm flying, and then you get shot in the wing, and then the bird falls, and the bird is like, dang, I thought I was flying and soaring like a bird. Then you have to move back to the nest. So if you're in college and that happened to you, or if you're not and that happened to you, I know how it feels. So that's actually the time where you can go through emotional turmoil, and depression and anxiety is when you thought you was soaring through life and then your bird wings got shot. So I found myself, I moved back home and I endured some depressive moments in my life. This is when actually it kind of that's why I became more focused into mental health, is because that's when I realized, oh, I'm actually depressed. So I remember spending like a month and I couldn't do anything. And I'm like, I'm supposed to be motivated, but I was not motivated. So I found out that when I wasn't motivated, it's like I lost track of everything. Everything I knew at the moment just kind of exited out of my brain, because I really categorized moving home as failure. So what does this have to do with binge eating and disorders? The same moment where my mind state was in a rut, my healthy eating habits went out the door. I started to binge eat. I started to eat comfort foods. So I started to eat candies and chips and drinking a lot of juice. Now, I know I'm not supposed to tell you that I did that, but I don't care, because I'm not trying to get your approval. I'm trying to help you. So I'm like, yo, what is going on with me? Like, why am I eating all of this food all at once in one sitting for no apparent reasons? I didn't know at the time that I was literally overeating and indulging in what is the prerequisite for binge eating disorder. Do I have a binge eating disorder? No, I don't. But I was showing the symptoms of that. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. We're going to literally discuss the symptoms of binge eating disorder. Okay? Not just the disorder, but the different tiers that relates to that. So this is more of an awareness video than anything. You know, it's not like I'm about to give you expert advice on how to stop doing it. Not yet. But right now, we're just going to talk about the characteristics of a binge. Okay? So how do you know you're binging? What is binge eating? What is it? You know what I mean? What exactly is it? So a lot of times, the great majority of people who binge, they don't even have a eating disorder. And they don't have an eating problem. They're just binging out of emotions. So just like I was telling you, I didn't necessarily have a binge eating disorder, but I was eating out of emotions. So the characteristics of a binge, and this is scientifically proven according to, I'm going to tell you the doctor, I'm going to show you the actual book that I read this stuff from actual research. So I did my study here. The actual book is by Dr. Christopher Fairburn, right? He did this study on binge eating to figure out what exactly is it. Okay? So let's first look at binge eating disorder. We're going to look at the extremes of it before we talk about the characteristics of a binge. A binge eating disorder is when you have repeated binges, but you do not take the extreme weight control measures by those people who have bulimia nervosa. Now, we're not going to talk about exactly what that is. That's another disorder for another video. So men and women are both equally affected by the binge eating disorder. African Americans appear to be at risk as much as Caucasians, so it's not a black or white thing. Both black and white people can have a binge eating disorder. And between ages of 20 to 50 can have a binge eating disorder. I believe college students specifically have a lot of binge eating disorders. And half of the people who have binge eating disorders are overweight. Now, you may say, oh, I'm skinny. Like, don't you see these guns? I got guns. But that does not mean that I'm exempt from having a binge eating disorder, okay? Just because your outside is not overweight doesn't mean your inside is in check. So what does that mean? It means that you're not excluded from having a binge eating disorder, okay? So now I don't like to categorize people like you have a disorder. Let's just say you're going through your binge eating modes throughout the day. Reason why I'm making this video is for you to just be aware, okay? I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just trying to raise awareness. So the characteristics of a binge include the feelings. So there's a certain feeling that you get when you're about to eat a certain food, especially the fatty, sugary foods. So the taste and the texture is like, it has this thing. Even Chick-fil-A, they literally program their foods. I say program, but they make their food in a way so that when you smell it, you just gotta have it. You know what I mean? That's what they do. So, and as you consume more and more, you want more and more. They literally scientifically try to figure out how to put in the right ingredients so that by the time it touches the tip of your tongue, it's like you're having a food orgasm. You're like, I can't stop eating this. So as you consume more and more food, you just want more and more. That's why they say you cannot open a bag of Lay's chip without eating all of the Lay's chip, because they tricked you, okay? So I want you to know that it's not all your fault. The corporations are after you, okay? But those feelings of joy when you're eating those food can also become a feeling of disgust, both psychologically and physically. The other day, I was eating some food, right? And I guess I fell as a victim to this the other day, but overeating. And it wasn't necessarily bad foods. It was just I ate one plate of food, which was good. I wasn't quite full yet. Then somebody offered me another plate of food for the free. And I was like, free food? I'm not turning down no free food. I'm going to eat that, right? Come on, free food. I'm trying to put on weight, you know? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to eat this, but I'm going to eat half of it. But the food was so good, I couldn't stop eating it. And I'm like, man, I should stop eating this food, because if I overeat, I'm just going to be full and I'm going to feel sluggish, and that's not good. That's overworking your digestive system. So guess what I did? I kept eating it, because the taste in my mouth at the time felt better than the results that was to come. But guess what happened when I finished eating all the food? I felt full as hell, and I just couldn't move. I felt sick. So a feeling of disgust came out of it. So that feeling of amazing food and tasty taste buds literally just went to feelings of disgust and sickness. And I was like, what did I do to myself? You know better, do better. But at the time, I just let the taste of the food get to me. But normally, I'm more conscious about when to stop eating. And lately, I've actually been eating smaller portions. So the feelings have a large things to do with characteristics of a binge. Just the pleasure of it, just is enjoyable. But then it becomes disgust. You get disgusted with yourself. Another thing is how fast you eat. Now, mind you, I was judging my friend for eating the same food fast. I was like, how many times you chewing your food? You're supposed to chew your food 52 times for your teeth, just digest your food. And I did eat my food slowly. However, I ate too much, okay? So it's like, I'm taking the peck out of another man's eye, and look at it, I'm eating too much. But at the same time, the feelings is one thing, but the speed of eating is another thing. So they found out, researchers at Columbia University found out that women that have bulimia nervosa ate food twice as fast than those who have no eating disorder. Now, the faster you eat your food, I don't know, it's like speed, right? The faster you get it in, the more you want to get in. You know what I mean? It's like having a quickie. You want to have more after that. Wink, wink. You know what I'm saying? So the speed of eating causes you to eat more. So you start stuffing your food almost mechanically like a robot. Like, and you could almost get a trance-like state over time. So another thing is, I had my one of my family members who loves juice. Like, he just loves juice. He has to drink like a cup of juice every time he's eating. And I'm like, why are you drinking so much juice? He's like, if I don't drink juice, I can't put the food down my mouth. I need juice. So another thing, in addition to the speed of eating, people with eating disorders also stuff food into their mouth mechanically, but they also, what they do is they drink a lot of juice. So the question is, this is here for self-reflection to see, is that you or is it not you? You know what I mean? We're just bringing awareness here to all of these issues. This is not to make you feel bad about yourself. This is not to tell you what to do. I'm not here for any of that right now. All I'm doing in this video is I am telling you what I wish I knew about myself so that I can do something different, okay? That's about it, all right? So the next thing was agitation. So another characteristics of a binge is when you get agitated by the thing that you're doing, okay? You are really agitated by the very thing that you're doing. And some people even pace up and down while they eat their foods. And some people become automatic, almost like they're sleep eating. You're eating in your sleep.